everybody. Welcome, and welcome to Kumbha Moon Soap Company. My name is Kimberly Lamondola,
And I'm Kelly O'Brien.
and we are the founders and owner of Kumbha Moon Soap Company, a really small home-based business that started with a story and continues with a story. We are so happy to talk about Kumbha Moon Soap Company. We often call it our baby. We both have full-time day jobs. I work in food system development and economic and community development by day.
And I teach by day at the high school level, grades 9 through 12.
And we've always been interested in living simply, living in balance with the earth, and we have a circle of friends that also feel very much the same way. That's no surprise. So many years ago, among friends, we would barter and trade for products and items that each was making. At the time, we were doing a lot of canning and home preserving, and we're trading for things that we didn't make or grow ourselves. So we had friends that were making honey, processing honey, making syrup, maple syrup, and friends who were making handmade soap. And we loved the soap.
Yes, we did. So our friends Archie and Robin invited us over to make soap one day, and it was a wonderful experience, and Kim and I fell in love with the process and basically went home and started making soap. And in the process of making soap, we were out of Tupperware and other small containers because we used those for molds originally for the soap that we made. And then we would use our Cutco knives to chop the soap up into small bar or smaller pieces. So that was a challenge because sometimes the soap would stick in the molds, and
it was real trial and error. We had friends who were so patient with us and the million questions that we had, but we were really impressed that really it was 3 ingredients that they were using, 3 different oils, and then with the addition of sodium hydroxide, which you need to convert fat into a product called soap. So my curiosity got the best of me, and I'm thinking, okay, I briefly understand this process called saponification, where there's a chemical reaction, but I want to know more, and I'm curious if we could wildcraft and use things from our backyard to either color or put a little exfoliation or even scent the soap, because our friends weren't using essential oils or anything to scent. So actually you get online, and part of my day job is working in the Appalachia part of New York State and all of Appalachia, and there are these listservs of old Appalachia folks who still are making soap in those cauldrons, right, with animal fat and lye from the wood ash pile from their fire pits, and they've got the best. You'd think that they're living back to the earth, they wouldn't be online, but they are. They're connected, and got into some of these listservs and chat rooms, just picking the brains of some of the quote-unquote old-timers, the experienced folks who were about as authentic as possible, and learning that they were really living true to the values of wildcrafting. They weren't using or buying food-grade colors, that they weren't buying artificial synthetic fragrances, that they were, and because a lot of these folks have limited financial means, they were making do, and that really spoke to us. So we started experimenting with steeping dandelions to get a color that we could infuse our olive oil with.
Going through our pantry and finding spices and mixing them, blending them together like turmeric and paprika to get orange for our orange tangerine soap, and using crushed and ground herbs for like rosemary for the exfoliant. We have crushed peppermint in here and our peppermint soap for the exfoliation. It just was a very interesting experience and I guess discovery.
Yeah, so we went from basically the first soaps that were primarily white to experimenting. And we were just doing this, making soaps, like Kelly said, in Tupperware containers or Chinese takeout food containers. And we graduated to purchasing a wooden mold, and we're like, wow, this is a lot of soap. We would pour the batter in and then a couple of days later take it out and slice it. This is about a 3-pound mold.
And when we purchased it, it was, we were worried about the expense. Were we going to...
Because this was a hobby. This wasn't a business yet. So we're making all of this soap, and then we're like, oh my gosh, we've got 300 bars of soap. What do we do? Merry Christmas, happy birthday. We were inundating friends with soap, and it was really rough looking.
Oh, and the labels.
We were labeling, we were gifting soap, and I thought, we're not going to buy labels or make labels. So we cut up paper bags because we didn't want plastic bags in the house. We only had paper grocery bags. We'd cut them up and I'd handwrite what it was and then wrap it around. I mean, it was real rudimentary. And so really our transformation from our hobby to a business came after our friends couldn't tolerate any more gifts of soap. You know, you ought to sell this, ladies. We have enough. You ought to sell this. And you know, we said no. It's a hobby. It's part of homesteading. It wouldn't feel right. Well,
we had a garage sale at our home on Duke Street, and we had all this soap, and so we decided that we would try to sell our soap at the garage sale. And we had all these bars, like different shapes and sizes, and we put them out on display at our garage sale. And we had friends who came looking at the garage sale, not necessarily for anything else that we had to sell but the soap.
They heard we were selling it. So then we had, I think a couple of months later, a living room sale. And by that time, we were making enough different varieties that we had experimented with herbs. And all of our colors only come from herbs, fruits, berries, and spices. We have an apothecary. We source sustainable ingredients from purveyors that can guarantee where it's come from. So like sandalwood powder, this beautiful red color, will actually convert to a purple color after it goes through the saponification. But anyway, so we had a sale in our living room, and I felt like little kids with a lemonade stand. So we put little signs up around the neighborhood, and we invited friends, not knowing if anybody would come over a Saturday and Sunday. We spent hundreds of dollars on cheese and fruit and whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody ate the food, they bought the soap. And I think that May of 2014 was the kickoff of the official Kumbha Moon Soap Company. We were actually taking money. We have our first $10 that we took in, and it felt really, really odd. Then we realized we need to get over that feeling because now we need a sales tax certificate. Now we have reportable income. Oh dear, we slid into accidentally starting a business. So we never set out to start a business. And I work, a little bit of my job is to help people with business and economic development. And we always go face first with a solid business plan, knowing your market, doing a market study, doing some, pro forma financial statements, 3, 5, 6 years. And we did none of that. We played catch up very, very quickly. Within 2 weeks of our living room sale, we started, Kelly got a website up and going for us. and we had to have a business certificate and sales tax, and we're like, well, we're in it now. And it was a huge learning curve. And I think if we had planned it along the straight line of business startup, I don't think we would have progressed the way we did. I think we would have been a little daunted. It would have taken the fun out of it, because we like Ben and Jerry's ice cream and have had their magnet on our refrigerator for years, and it says, if it's not fun, why do it?
And that's correct. And I think, sitting down and doing the website and trying to figure out what name, we had several different names that we chose, but every name that we went to check to see if the name was registered or available, that was a challenge, because so many of the names that we came up with had already been taken. So you have to find, I think GoDaddy is a website that we go to, and you have to figure out if your name is registered or not, what names are available, and start there. And then do you want .com, .net, .org, .this, .that? You name it, you can have your website name basically under any type of commercial or organization.
So we quickly backpedaled, and in deciding what to call our business, because we're like, oh heck, we have a business now. Totally unplanned. Moon Soap Company. That's one of the questions that we get most frequently asked. What does it mean? Well, Kumbha has its origins in Sanskrit, and both of us are yoga practitioners. I'm actually a certified yoga teacher, and we're both Aquarians. And in going back, really just kind of looking to what could speak to both of us, in the Hindu calendar year, the first month of the year, January, February, because I'm late January, we're a week apart, so January is kind of close enough. There is a celebration called the Kumbha Mela, and Kumbha means several different things, but in Sanskrit it also means vessel. And both of us feel that we were vessels of knowledge, vessels of information. And in both of our day jobs too, we help others with information we have. And Moon, well, it just sounded good, right? And our logo is actually, I don't have it, I'm looking, it's across the room, but the logo is the dormer of our former house with a friendly neighborhood crow or raven. So it just went together. Kumbha Moon Soap Company, and our original tag was real simple soap. So one of the things that I think sets Kumbha Moon Soap Company and our products apart from others that are doing similarly is that we really were careful to keep our values imbued in everything that we do. And sometimes that's hard, especially when, the first year we oh no, we took in money, we have to report this, and our wonderful tax person said, well, what is your profit margin? We're like, I don't know. And we go back and calculate the cost of each type of soap or body product that we're making, and realize that we are probably we're probably doing things, how do I want to say this? We're doing things much more carefully, using careful ingredients that for the most part are food grade, and we'll tell you in a minute what that means to us, but that we're very careful to use the best quality ingredients. So without getting into the whole process of how soap makes, because we do have some of our trade secrets, most of our soaps contain 5 different fats. And as we were chatting before the video was rolling, you heard Kelly say that we used to call this, when we were giving it to friends, pantry soap, because literally the ingredients were coming from our pantry. So the olive oil that we use in our soap today, we buy now by the flat at the food terminal, but it's this in Buffalo, but it's the same olive oil that we use for our own cooking. The coconut oil that we use, we aren't buying it in a little jar like we used to, a 16-ounce jar. We're buying 300 and 500 pounds at a time, but it's food grade. We use it in our own products. So we can go back up. So most of our soaps and all of our ingredients are plainly listed on our label. Our 100% pure imported Italian olive oil. Our other liquid fat is castor oil. And that, again, we're not buying castor oil anymore at CVS. We're buying it in 35-gallon dispenser containers, but it's castor oil that we would use medicinally for ourselves. And then our more solid fats are the coconut oil, unrefined shea butter, so we're careful that any of the butters or fats that we use are unrefined. So that means that they have not been chemically deodorized. They've not been chemically whitened either. So cocoa butter that we use for some of our body products still has that little chocolatey essence. And we like to tell the story of our products. And then shea butter. Oh no, I said shea butter. Coconut oil, shea butter, and shortening. So it's the same shortening you would make your chocolate chip cookies with. And instead of just buying one little container, we're buying hundreds of pounds of shortening now at a time. But each of these fats, these 5 fats, castor, olive oil, shea butter, coconut oil, and shortening, each have a proprietary multiple qualities that create a soap that lasts a long time, that conditions, doesn't over dry, that has a nice bubbly lather, and is creamy on the body. So we've done a lot of research on the various oils. And as Kelly mentioned earlier, we do rely on herbs, roots, berries, and spices for our colorants. So something like our frankincense and cedarwood soap that has 3 different layers. The red color comes from sandalwood. The green color comes from nettle leaf. And while we're not drying our nettle and crushing it anymore because we don't have any more time, we are sourcing organic nettle leaf powder. So we like to tell the story. And in the early part of our business, we were selling every single bar of soap and every body product directly. We set up for years at farmers markets and festivals and events. Now remember, we have day jobs and we have animals and we have busy lives, and every product we handed to somebody and told our story. And then people were asking really good questions, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
About what's in the soap. And as you can probably tell, I like to talk. I don't have a problem talking, but it connected us with our customers, and they came back and they told us they appreciated the purity and the values-based, and at the time we were doing a lot of wild crafting. But what happened is we became a little victim of our own success. we got tired, and we're a little older than younger, and setting up show tents every week and driving and being away from home and our animals was a little taxing. And we can thank Santa Vida store over in Bradford. Lynn reached out to us and said she'd heard about our product and would we be interested in selling through her store, wholesale. And we're like, well, yeah, but tell us how that works. This wasn't in our business plan. So we've got a lot of supporters that helped us to each level. So Lynn was really gracious. She helped us understand these type of wholesale arrangements, and she held our hand. It moved us way out of our comfort zone to take these products that we have so carefully and lovingly crafted and hand them to somebody else to sell. And I kept asking Lynn and Kelly, like, but how will they know our story? But how will they know? But how will they know it's different than every other soap? And
we almost had to take Kim there and drop her off so she could be in the store every open hour so that she could hand deliver and tell the story. I mean,
what we found with a store like Santa Vida and Sage in Olean and the Himalayan Institute in Buffalo, several others that have carried our products, they also are values-based businesses. And they carried our products because of the clean label of the small business cottage industry. We're a woman-owned business too. So there was mutual support and really reciprocity in us supporting other local businesses that were supporting local businesses. So I quickly got over that.
And we had friends invite us. I grew up in a small town northeast of here. We had friends invite us to do Small Business Saturday, and they hosted us, so we would set up in their store and sell our product as well. So it helped us move out of this region a little bit, and I think that helped us significantly. When we started the website and started selling off of the website, people started shipping products that we made to relatives for Christmas and, as Kim said, other holidays. And those people now are ordering our product from all over the country. So it's just crazy that we're in more places than just here.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So a couple of years ago, when we adopted 2 new high needs puppies, we realized we couldn't be gone every Friday, Saturday, Sunday doing shows. And we started to scale back on our direct marketing. And by that time, our customer base had grown exponentially. As Kelly said, people were gifting our soap. Our online buying portal on our website started to come to life, and we were shipping, as I've got packages going out today to California and Colorado, and you name it, we have shipped. And that's also another layer, like, who are these people? How did they hear about our product? And we usually try to touch back with our customers, always saying thank you. That's one thing that we always want to make sure that everybody knows how appreciative we are of their support. And so we have scaled back on doing those festivals and have relied more heavily on our wholesalers as well as our online storefront. And we always say, no, I miss the direct marketing. I miss the conversations with customers. This product, the soap, needs to, when we make it, it takes about 4 hours to make a batch that we can get 30 bars. So we're now making them in these great big molds. We have 12 of them that friends have made for us. And it's a labor of love and time and patience. once we cut the soaps from the molds, they go upstairs into our curing room, and they're still like butterscotch pudding consistency. They sit for about 6 to 8 weeks until the water evaporates and they get to be nice and hard, so they're a long-lasting product. So we quickly realized as we started our non-business when we realized, oh my gosh, we got a business, we have customers, we have to make product on a regular basis, that our investment took a little time to return because a lot of our investment was on the curing shelf. So the little story that I like to tell is that during my day job, I do work with farmers, and some of the folks that were raising meat animals were telling me, some of the challenges are with cash flow, right? So they take loving care on raising an animal on organic forage, but it can be 12 to 16 months before that animal has been processed and ready for sale. So a lot of them have brought in then maybe chickens or pigs where they can process them within weeks or several months so that the cash flow evens out. So we're like, we need to think, what can we do? And we'd always made, stuff for our bodies and bubble bath and stuff. But we thought, you know what? Lining with our values-based, we can expand a line of body products. And one of the first products we made was what we call our lotion bar. And we experimented this with our niece Jordan, I believe. One weekend she was visiting with us. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try to make something. So it's like a hand lotion bar, like you would have, you'd buy liquid hand lotion and pump it and rub it all over, and it's loaded with chemicals. So this is a solid lotion bar, and all natural ingredients, and you just kind of rub it on your body. So we started making these and selling them, and realized that we can make these and have these for sale by the next day. They don't need to cure like the soap. And these were met with great response because, again, values-based, all natural. And then we're like, well, what else? And customers gave us input. Customers wanted an all-natural, non-chemical-based deodorant. So Kelly basically spent a lot of time researching. And again, these are all products that come out of the pantry. Baking soda or arrowroot.
Yeah.
And
so we used to use baking soda, baking powder, but we've gone from baking powder to arrowroot. Just people with sensitivities, we want to make sure that, what do I want to say? Make sure that, they're not going to be sensitive to our product. And the essential oils that we use, tea tree is in every deodorant because it's the antibacterial, antimicrobial oil that I guess would reduce odor. And the other essential oils are oils that would be delicate to your skin. So and we have 4 different pit sticks or deodorants.
we call them pit sticks.
So and it's nice, and people love them.
So our body products were, so we've got Muscle Balm for aches and pains. We've got what we call Lip Chap for dry lips, the lotion bar, Petty Balm for the feet, Pit Stick, and then I really like this, and I use this a lot. We've got some customers that swear by this.
It's a non-body product.
It's a non-body product. It's called Scour, and it's a bathtub sink scrubbing powder that is awesome. So this was kind of our quote unquote, I don't want to say pork, but these products also helped with having available product.
Right.
Because oftentimes we, like right now, we are really, our inventory right now on soap is low, but that's intentional. We took a break on manufacturing this summer because we decided we needed to be outdoors and on the trail and hiking and just taking a little pause from the day-to-day demands, because it is a day-to-day demand on top of our day-to-day jobs.
Yes, and we love and we are committed to Kumbha Moon, but we also love and are committed to each other, and we needed a break.
Yeah. But we're ramping back up again. So if you are a customer and you do check our website, kumbhamoon.com, I'll give that little plug, you'll see that our inventory levels are low, but we're back at it. We're batching as of last week and taking time to build our inventory for the fall and holiday giving. Future plans. I'm looking at some of the cute things. So bumps and bruises. We have had just a few little bumps and bruises. Most of them have been learning curves. One of the learning curves was the catching up to all of the housekeeping that we needed to learn on running a cottage-based, small-based business. The insurance, liability, and running a business from your home. We have excellent folks who have helped advise us on what we need to do. We could not weed through some of the regulations if it were not for others who have expert knowledge or who have come before us in running small businesses. Inventory is the biggest challenge that we have because our soap products do take a long lead time before they're ready for sale. So I always feel like we're playing catch up on manufacturing and having enough available product.
And we are not just the owners, we are the employees. So the two of us are, and I'm going to say the two of us, mostly Kim works making the soaps. I do the body products, and as Kim said, it takes 4 hours to make a batch of soap. So we have 12 batches. When we batch soap, we batch 6 at a time. So that's
it's all day
that's
Saturday.
Like, that's
all day Sunday.
That's a weekend of making, batching soap. And then with that being said, so 24 hours of making soap, and it takes 6 to 8 weeks to cure. So the turnaround time is a lot of it.
It's a lot of it.
And but it is well worth it. So, and we appreciate all the support that we do have from friends, family, and customers around.
Yeah. So one of our early brochures that we had made, we described the roles that we played, and basically owners, accountants, testers, researchers, we're the shipping department, we're the logistics and distribution department, we're it. And anybody running a business on the side or whether it's on the side of a day job or a full-time job or just on the side of regular life, you do take on a lot of that responsibility. We probably are at a point where we could consider hiring somebody to assist us, and that's the next ledge we're a little afraid to jump off. So maybe some of our business mentors can help us in that regard.
And that's where we would have to look at overhead. I mean, when we were at Duke Street, we took out a home improvement loan and we redid our garage and turned our garage into our soaping studio. So that's where we did all of our batching. And I think within 6 months,
yeah, we sold our house and moved. We moved to a bigger house with a country property, but the studio that we work here is about a half or a third to the size. Mm-hmm. So For the future though, for Kumbha Moon, so part of it is, it feels like almost a third entity that sits sometimes in our laps, and we can cradle it, or sometimes it comes between us in various ways, or sometimes it actually lifts us, and sometimes our egos need to have been pushed down a little bit. But our goals are, maybe one day we can retire from the full-time work obligations, and we both look forward to continuing to expand the business and going back into direct resale. I don't miss lugging the show tent and loading 2 compact cars and packing hundreds of bars of soap that have to be individually labeled, and putting them in totes and driving and unloading it, and then if it rains it's like, oh crap. But I do miss the contact, so we do want to re-engage in some of that way.
Yes.
And at some point we envision us retiring and being those hippie girls,
Being on the road,
living the van life maybe, and going from festival to festival, selling our soap and body products, and giving some tender loving care to Kumbha Moon Soap Company. So advice for aspiring entrepreneurs, I'm the wrong person to ask. I advise people at work, very methodically, all the things that are suggested to start up, and we just slid into this by the seat of our pants. It's easy for us to say, don't be afraid to take risks. I would say, plan on failing, right? Plan on failing in some aspect. We have fallen flat on our faces, whether it's been a product that just went over like a lead balloon, whether it was a mistake made in choosing potential sales channel. Plan on learning and knowing how to not succeed in some aspect. That's your learning curve.
Yeah, don't let failure set you back. If you have an idea, research and move forward to the best of your ability. Ask people for advice. And for us, I think our financial planner was big in helping us move forward with so many things, and she talks to us every year about our inventory and when we're getting our tax stuff ready, and it's so. But there's so much stuff that you don't think about when you're getting started, that having mentors can move you forward much more quickly than like us, hit or miss or experiment in that direct.
I agree. One thing that I'd like to say in closing though too is, and I've seen this in some of the work that I do in farmers market and people that are making, producing, selling food. Often you go into thinking about selling your product extremely competitively. And what we learned also when we started selling at various direct retail outlets, that we're not the only soap maker or body product maker. That collegiality really goes so far in building networks of people who are making the same products, making similar products, networking with other like businesses or complementary businesses can only equate to all businesses rising. That's been something I've witnessed in my day job. That's been something we've witnessed in our own business. And I value that. And we value networking with others who have similar businesses, similar products, and sharing learned experiences.
Yeah, a little competition is healthy, but you have to remember camaraderie for people in the same business that you're in is also beneficial.
And I guess, we're always available I love to talk. Kelly does too.
I'm a shy, quiet person.
But feel free to reach out to us. You can find our contact information on our website, www. We don't even need to say the W's anymore,
No.
right? Kumbha, Kumbha, Kumbha Moon, one word, .com. And our emails and phone numbers, because we're still old-fashioned enough that we have our personal phone numbers out there, are available. You can reach us on our website or find us on Facebook too. Kumbha Moon Soap Company. So thank you.